I believe it's important to protect your investments, so I think a huge mistake is not having cameras facing our splash pad, so that shed holds $350,000 worth of equipment. And if someone breaks in, we won't know.
Do we have security cameras now?
Not in that section.
So how many cameras are you buying with this $18,000?
That would replace the entire system inside and outside. They're currently really blurry, hard to tell. I've had a peace officer who's not here, have a look at them. It's hard to tell. You can't tell a face. You can barely tell if it's a female or a male, depending on the clothing.
Okay,
So,
any questions on security cameras? Moving on to carpet replacement, sports valves.
I'll be honest, this is the last of my requests.
Pardon?
This is the last of the requests. I had to pick and choose which one was the top priority. This would be,
The bottom.
yes.
Then you don't have to say anymore.
Well, I'm being honest, if I have to pick and choose what I get,
Well, I was gonna come around to ask you to pick and choose all right. But then let's go on to the roof, the sports valves roof.
this is vital. It's leaking into dressing room one, we can't even use it. It's not worth even fixing because spring, rainfalls, it's a waterfall in there. So until we fix the actual problem, there's no point using dressing room number one. And hockey is a huge sport here. We barely have enough dressing rooms to allow females to change. And we've had it in the past where we've made them change in the bathroom, which according to Hockey Canada is not allowed.
Councilor McNaught?
I'm just trying to think back here, because I've been not necessarily at this table, this seat, but other seats. We've talked about this one before. Has not work been done on that in the past recent history, within 5 years, say?
There was a company that came up and it was under the impression that they, yes, fixed it. No, they did not. And it was after the warranty, so, or sorry, it was fixed. But within that 5 years, when the leaks started back up again, when we contacted them, warranty was done.
Thank you.
Any other questions on this? Moving on to the concession.
I believe it's important to provide our tenants with usable equipment. There is a change in the budget, so going further, I'll be honest, Costco Business. I was able to find the same fryers and coolers at a lower price. So rather than 16, I could most likely do it for 9. And that's commercial coolers, commercial fryers.
Questions or comments from councilors? You've got about $180,000 ask in front of us.
Yes, I do.
So what can you do for $100,000?
100,000? Well, not enough to provide the services required to the community of High Prairie and surrounding. We have an obligation to our members who have paid for memberships, public use.
You're evading my question. What can you do with 100,000?
Well, my number one project requires 145,000. So picking and choosing which pump, I don't think is vital. Because you're now asking Nordic to come back up twice and their travel costs are quite high. So if we're asking them to come twice, that's hotels, travel costs and meals. That's all on us,
Where are they coming from?
Edmonton. And this is something we are trying to get through a grant, through the local,
LGFF.
yes. So Shandon will be applying for that grant to have it completely covered. So my question is, why should we split this over a couple years if we get this grant? this grant's guaranteed to us this year's amount from the government. We don't know what it's gonna be like for 2027. They might cut it in half, and then it's coming out of our reserves, where now we have the opportunity to get it through the government.
You're very good at evading my question, young lady.
Okay, what would I pick?
I never give up.
I
I
know.
get to be mayor, I get to do that.
So,
So you already said carpet is the least
Yes.
important. Tell me the top two projects.
top two would be pumps, heat exchanger, and security. I am gonna say three, and I'll explain why. We have assets that were worth $640,000. For us to not protect it is not doing us service to our taxpayers. Someone breaks in, it's up to us to pay for it.
I understand that the digit two is a wishy-washy number that can become three. I accept
Yeah.
that. Those three?
Yes, and $500,000 was donated by the Buchanan Foundation to build a splash pad. That was the requirement by her or by the foundation when they gave us that money. So for us to not protect an investment that was donated to us, knowing that I am gonna go after the Buchanan Foundation for more, she may ask, well, if I've given you 500,000 and you can't take care of it, why should we do more? Security cameras is a security issue. We're protecting our staff, we're protecting our facilities, and we're protecting our taxpayers. So for me, it's not a question of which is more important. The question is, do we value our staff and taxpayers and our investments more than going after a grant that we could get and saving that money in the end?
I love the way you say it's not a question of which is more important, and then go ahead and tell us which you value more.
Yeah.
Which is like saying it's more
Well,
important.
I value revenue, and my big thing this year was.
You're asking for
revenue.
close to $200,000,
Yes,
just on those three projects, 190,000, I think.
yes.
Okay,
But those three projects are where my revenue come from. That GBC is my huge revenue stream that I get to come back to and show you guys. The pool is a huge revenue stream. Those are my two major producers. Horse
and
Palace.
we're still leaving the dressing room and the sports palace unclosed.
Well, I could still make revenue shutting down the dressing room. Can't make revenue on a GBC if it doesn't have heat. So you'll see in January when I come back with my numbers that if we were to, sorry, something in my eye, if you were to have a heat exchanger breakdown, well, you're now losing $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in revenue. Was it worth saying no to the project and then losing that revenue stream?
Okay,
Sorry,
Any
I don't know if I answered your question.
Councillor Thunder.
I think I know the answer is no, but I'm gonna ask anyway. You said that the Buchanan Foundation donated $100,000 for yearly operating expenses. You said yearly operating expenses were $1,200 a year, so there's plenty of funds to run the splash pad. Is security not considered a yearly operating expense? Can we take that out of that 100,000? No?
She was very clear with me
I
multiple
assume so,
times
but I'm gonna ask it.
that
Yeah.
she wanted to take the burden off the taxpayer for the splash pad. So should a feature go down,
Yeah.
that money could be used towards fixing a feature. And she made it very clear, and I emailed her and I made it very clear to her that I would not abuse that money and put it towards something that was not requested by her. It's in an email. It's to be taken away from the taxpayer should something go down and needs to be repaired.
Any further questions on recreation? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Oh,
Oh.
You
Councillor
forgot one thing.
Yeah.
The concrete outside the water plant, center. With chipping. So there's a simple solution. You can just take that out.
Yeah.
And then
grind it.
to fill it in.
Yeah.
You're always gonna have a problem there with, you know where your rocks are?
Mhm.
That should be concreted straight across and put the rocks on top. So now what's happening is the water's coming off your pad, going down and it's migrating underneath the pad. And when it freezes, it's moving your pad up and down. And that's why you have popping like this.
Mhm.
So in order to get rid of no matter what you do, if you still have that drop area,
Mhm.
you'll always have the same problem. So we can either fill it in, you'll have to fill it in, take the rocks out, fill it in, put your rocks back if you want.
Mhm.
But because the concrete is two different ages, they're gonna start separating. So you'll have to, every year you'll have to caulk that so the water doesn't get down there.
Okay, so it is a bigger project than I anticipated,
Actually, no,
no?
to patch this would be next to nothing.
Okay,
You could put asphalt or concrete in where the rocks are.
okay. Perfect.
Further questions or comments on recreation? Thank you, Mark, very much.
Thank you.
And I guess we'll ask the CEO to speak to the remaining unspoken for projects, which include carpeting in the offices and enforcement services, et cetera, et cetera. Is he? Oh, sorry. He's now stuck his head out from him. David,
I'm back here. Want me to go first or go ahead?
enforcement services.
All right.
You have two projects.
Correct, two projects. I want to start off by answering Councilor Shunter's question from last week in regards to the body cameras and possibly sharing servers with the RCMP. So I followed up with that, and that is a 100% no-go, just due to security concerns. Obviously, our internet and the way that we access certain things isn't as secure as RCMP's internal network and however their IT people have that set up. So that unfortunately wasn't an option for us. I don't really have anything to add to the body camera project. Just that like our current body camera system has not been working at all. And I've spent more hours on the phone with the techs troubleshooting their software and system this year than I probably have been able to patrol. And the way that I see it is we're not providing the service that we should be able to because we're stuck busy troubleshooting a system that we shouldn't have to touch. It should be a start your shift in the morning and it works as it should. You're able to retrieve footage as you should. And there is no back and forth with techs and having to get replacement parts mailed to us and me playing tech and swapping things out and not understanding what I'm doing.
You should never publicly admit you don't understand.
Well, to an extent, I understand, but you know, my job role is a community peace officer, not information technologist.
So please tell me, what, if any, are the legal requirements? Like, are we legally required to have body cams and things like that?
Yeah, so the peace officer program and policy manual, the thing that authorized employers are required to abide by, as well as us as community peace officers. In there, it does state that body cameras and in-car cameras are a requirement as a part of an authorized employer's responsibilities. So basically, if we don't have the in-car cameras and the body cameras, then we have the possibility of losing our authorization, or the town losing the authorization to employ peace officers, which would ultimately remove my position completely. Also, severance.
Questions from councilors, comments?
Councilor Cameron. Yeah,
No, what goals for you?
well, that's good. I've had a stressful month, so I appreciate.
Any comments on the security cameras for the town office security cameras? Are you in charge of those or somebody else is?
I'm in charge of this project.
Some comments on those?
Our current system, I'm not sure if you could tell by the picture that's included in the slide, but there's 3 cameras that are not working. They're plugged in, they're connected to the system, they're just not displaying on the screen. It's an older type system that runs off of strictly Wi-Fi. It's just at its end of life and we're in need of new security cameras. One thing that I wanted to mention as well is inside of this town office, our office in specific carries a lot of weapons and items that wouldn't necessarily be available to the general public. In a sense, if something were to happen and those things were taken, it could come back as a liability to the town. So just further, I guess, adding to my reasons for the need of security cameras.
Okay, thank you. The CAO, we also have municipal security cameras, but I take it these are publicly installed. How related are they to enforcement service?
Municipal cameras, you're in control of those.
So it's not a matter of, I guess. So this, I don't even know how I was brought into this project. It was mentioned by an old council. I had basically provided some suggestions in an attempt to try and get on top of this crime issue that the town's been having. There was talks about installing security cameras in some of the more high traffic areas, where we've recognized there's issues, to better monitor those areas and or completely, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but basically deter the crime from happening in that area. Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting to be speaking on this as well. I don't.
Yeah, the previous council approved the security cameras to go in. There was a lot of complaints from the public, especially with the large number of mischief and break and enters that have been occurring this past year. So these, yeah, as Brady had mentioned, these are in the higher, they'll be placed in the higher crime areas. They're more likely where we find crime, just to help the peace officers, but and also to help the RCMP. Previous council wanted to be seen to be doing something. We're going to be installing these, I believe, in January or February. It's just one of a number of options. I think I sent an email to council this afternoon on all the different options that the previous council did consider and the effectiveness. The RCMP told us the effectiveness of each option. So they chose to put in security cameras. So that's the background to that.
So the downtown security cameras will be viewed from where?
They would be streamed, to our office where currently 4 different town sites are also streamed. So we have constant surveillance on the water treatment plant, the Gordon Buchanan Center, Sports Palace, and the Public Works yard. With CHAM's budget request for the security cameras of the Aquatic Center, the plan is, if that was to be approved, then that would also be streamed to our office as well, to just further enhance our ability to see things out there in the streets. I mean, I would say a good 40 to 50% of our jobs as peace officers, we're required to do paperwork. Reports have to be done, documentation has to be done and collected. And obviously, while we're in the process of writing those documentations, reports, and all of those other things, we have to be in the office to do so, resulting in not being able to observe what's going on with the town. So that was kind of just another thing that we decided to implement to help better allow us to keep our eyes on the town when we're not able to physically be out there.
So are you able to keep an eye on the cameras while doing the paperwork?
I would say so, yep.
Okay, any questions for law enforcement? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any items that in this file that we still have to deal with that are unspoken to?
Office flooring.
Yeah, what page number is office one?
41.
Oh, there we are, office one. Well, this is gonna be good, especially since we just had somebody say that carpeting wasn't their highest. Are we bundling this out? In fact, yes, we were. I remember being told that the office flooring and the sports palace flooring would be a bundled purchase.
There we go.
Somebody still wants to try to cover this one?
Well, if it came to it, I was gonna steal the extra tiles from Boondocks and put them out myself.
Who's speaking toward office flooring? CEO?
No, Shanda, she's dealt with it.
Oh, Shanda, you want to risk it? After your fellow manager sold you out?
Pretty much already expected you guys to start this one.
Probably done for this side.
Yeah, we've got a fun here. So I got the total square footage of the building. Give or take a few square feet, like we don't need carpet in here, bathrooms. The total square footage of the office is 10,200 square feet. Give or take chambers and bathrooms and stuff. Now, the rate per tile, I have not got that price. Like I said, I pretty much assumed this one was gonna be,
So you were looking at doing the entire building?
yeah. It is bad on both sides of the building.
Questions from counselors? Thank you very much. That's all there's to it. Oh, yeah, you had a question?
You remind me why we said carpet, not plank, not tile?
I think we discussed it would be the best option. Carpet tile would be the best option, so if there was a problem, you could just take that one tile out and replace it. That was what one of the flooring specialists recommended as when I asked what would be the best option for an office setting.
I like the way David Reynolds put it yesterday at the rec committee. I'm the expert on this one. He should ask the expert about BCT tile. So vinyl composite tile, it doesn't wear out like carpet does. It'll last 50 years. You still have some yearly upkeep. Instead of shampooing the carpet, you're waxing your floor. But it's easier to keep clean. You're not tracking mud in and trying to get mud out of carpet fiber. It's a vinyl floor. And it's glue down 12 by 12 tiles. So the same thing, if you damage one, you can replace just the one.
Okay,
Something to ask the guy about. Everything changes based on foot traffic, but in high foot traffic areas, Home Hardware, for example, we have BC tile in the store.
BC.
And it's the same color all the way through. You don't wear through it. You can sand off the top layer and keep going if it starts to wear out. So it lasts. I think you're low traffic enough, you last forever in here. It's not a replacement item every 25 years like carpet would be. You look at, back in the 70s and 80s, that floor tile that had asbestos in it, it's the same kind of idea. It just doesn't have asbestos in it anymore, right?
Perfect.
Any other questions or comments?
Yeah.
Counselor Pereski.
I thought last time we talked about it, it was because of being slippery.
See that, we'd have to weigh our options there too.
You put a mat at the door the same you have now.
Please,
Okay.
turn your mic on, Shanae. Didn't hear that comment.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I, I said we'd have to weigh our options out with that too, whether it was slippery or whatever. Because people do wear their outdoor shoes in here.
People wear their outdoor shoes into Canadian Tire too.
Yeah, if that's the same stuff, then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Looked at every project again. We have received some sense from our managers as to what their priorities are. I have two different printouts in front of me now. The deputy mayor has referred to the one as being the Holy Grail, and so I'll ask him to explain it.
Noticed on the first breakout that there was some monies left over in some of the grants. Like the local government fiscal framework. So what I talked to Shanda is that we use up all that funding within the various projects. So when you got the second sheet that you provided tonight, and it shows that there's nothing left in them, but we will be allocated funding for 2026, so there'll be something back in them reserves. I had a bad feeling about the taking down the restricted reserves. I don't know if it's part of my old CAO feelings coming out or whatever, but I kind of talked with Shanda and we went through the budget, and what you see is your best guess, less taking out some of the stuff if you want. What I looked at is the sidewalk replacement program. It was at $200,000, and I believe, and I'm talking with Mike, that we're doing blocks for like 40,000. So what I suggested is that we take that one down to 120,000 from the 200 and do 3 blocks, which is still lots of work to do. In here, we put the recreation's aquatic center pumps, and they're under local government fiscal framework under that grant. So we have kind of juggled and shifted and kind of kept the reserves, the unrestricted reserves, a little higher, but by burning up more of the restricted reserves under roads, water, and sewer for 44th Street project. We took out or left in some of the projects for recreation under the recreation reserves. And now the one can be reduced, the sports ballots concession down to $9,000. So that one will have to be adjusted. The project for the water treatment plant upgrade. Obviously that one's went up with the 2 projects combined. So there will have to be something taken under the unrestricted reserves to cover them costs. I'm babbling like a CAO. Anyways, if there's any other questions anybody would have? And again, I would strongly recommend to remove the 2 projects of Evergreen and Pine Crescent for this coming year. Because you'll have to issue a debenture on them. And if we can get away from that for next year and put them on your next year's project or the year after, whatever.
Well, before we ask the real CEO for his view, I'll ask my second CEO. For his. Councilman Ryan.
No, no, agree with what Brian said. I just wanted to verify, because I've got lists, of the ADA here. Are we dealing with the second draft? Is that the sheet you're working on? Okay, yeah. I just wanted to make sure I had the right one that I was looking at. Is there 2 second drafts? No. First, second. First, last.
Your ending balance would be 9,277,529 for reserve.
Yeah. 9,277,000.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work it out there.
Just you want to be.
So I'm just curious if we, I'm sure Brian's had some ideas, I have some ideas, but the rest of us also have heard this. And I'm just saying, should we just go through the projects one by one by one?
I want to hear your ideas.
I'm in agreement with the cutting out the road program, the 2 road projects out of here. The sidewalks for 1 year, but I think we have to be careful not to say, this is one that gets how people, that's one's been positive in the community. But it's only for the positive in those areas that get it. For the other ones, it's spending. So I don't think that's gonna hurt us by dropping that down. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
How many blocks did you do a year? You do last year?
So we had a carryover from 2024 to 2025. There was 3 blocks done under 2025 or 2024. And 2025 budget, we got 2 blocks done.
So 3 is spending.
5 blocks total in the, for 200,000.
40,000 block.
Go ahead, Councilman Ryan.
So I'm good with that one going down 120. It's only in the eye of the people that actually get it, and if they don't know who's missing it, everybody would be upset anyway, so if they didn't get it, but I think in light of the other things that we are doing, that's not a bad one to drop to the 120. The carpets, I think until we get some better information, I think we should probably hold that off maybe 2027, sorry. Maybe give it a chance to get some more experts in here. I usually find experts are salesmen and sheep's clothing. They, you know, they're gonna sell their product and that's one's there. I think the roof over the arena, over the dressing room, I think that's an important one. It deters the building. I know what's happened in the past, and they've had mold in there and everything else. And it just, I think that's one that's important for the operation over there. The drop of the pricing of the concession, it's good. We made the discussions already. You grilled the responsible people here to say what they find is important or isn't, and I think they are experts that we should be listening to. And once we redo the numbers, we can see where we come out at, because when we're saying this, I'm not sure what the bottom numbers come to until after we see.
Well, they're coming out lower because we are making some reductions. Any questions or comments, Councillor Hunter?
I want to say, I thought tonight was going to be an argument, and I think we're all relatively on the same page, and I'm really happy about that. I have 2 general thoughts about the capital budget, and I'll share them real briefly. The first is, I have the opinion that our sidewalks, our roads, they're general maintenance items. They should be a recurring yearly expense. I don't know how long a section of pavement lasts, but if a section of pavement lasts 50 years, then you should be repaving 1/50th every year. Every year you repave 2% of the town, right? And that's a reoccurring every single year. You keep up with it, and when 50 years is up, the whole town has been paved, and you start over again. You do it all over. But and those recurring costs that we should be spending on every year, I don't believe we should be taking on debt to pay for them. I believe that it should be better budgeted for, I guess, if you put it that way. So somebody said you pay 1 road a year, and I came into here tonight with a plan to argue that we should only pave one road, and I think we've settled on that we're only gonna pave one road, so.
Well, we had
That,
voted it.
Well, I know, but I think, so that's my stance on that, but, yeah, no, just, the other side of things, so Shonda shared a draft of a 10-year capital plan, and my hesitation is, much like, Counselor Temple's, you don't know what's coming up in 2027, 2028, 2029, and without a rather firm understanding of, the major upcoming projects, it's, you're hesitant to draw down reserves so heavily. David Joy said, we're draining reserves this year, and I had to do a double take to make sure it was actually him talking, because I thought, no way does that guy say that we're draining reserves, but, so I just want to be mindful that, we're not pulling our reserves down too far. There's some projects in here that definitely needed the, the water treatment plant and the raw water backup. Water and gas, they're a necessity. They need to be spent on. The optional stuff, that's where we should start talking about it. But we need to keep in mind the final total. We don't want to draw that down too far and have a surprise show up next year that we can't pay for.
Okay, any, Councilor Persky?
Hey, Mike, do you remember what the next bid was for doing the streets, the sidewalks?
Yeah.
Right,
One block, $90,000.
90,000, yeah. Okay, so the reason Devin brought the price down is because he made it fit into his everyday work. So if he's had a slack area, he'd take a week off and we'd go do something. I don't know how much longer he's gonna be doing concrete. So, you guys are getting a heck of a deal for doing sidewalks at 40,000. So just to put it out there, that it could be more than double if you get somebody else.
Okay, any, Councilor Hamlin?
I just noticed that, this new printout, we have a, Big Lakes County Airport request of 125,000. Where did that come from?
Where did the airport request come from?
That came from their upgrading the AWOL system, which is what aircraft check the weather and around our area, and they need that system up and running. Our system that's there now is old. It's not working half the time and it needs to be replaced. And Canadian Aviation has said it needs to be replaced. So that's our share.
And it's covered by grants.
Yes.
We're not paying for it.
Yes.
We're going to decide. It was just a surprise.
Clarify.
That's a,
Further comments from councilors? Guess we'll get the CAO to,
well, when presenting this capital budget, I just wanted you to be aware that we could cover all of this. If we can, if you chose to do so. But I like the discussion tonight, and yes, eliminating the evergreen and pine crest is probably a good suggestion. Where I prefer council to go with the sidewalk replacement program, I prefer that to stay at 200,000. One of the common complaints I heard throughout the years is that this town is ugly, or it's just not appealing. And part of that is the sidewalks and of course the roads. And the main area, the highway here, the 53rd, which is provincial. But, I like to, and not beg council, but to reconsider and keep that budget at 200,000. The other one that certainly I think is very important is to have all 5 pool pumps replaced. It's no sense just doing partial pump replacement. We want good service to the public, and again, they'll be up in arms if any part of the pool or hot tub goes down. But all in all, I mean, what we've done here, we know we can handle a lot of this through grants. And yes, a drawdown on reserves, with, and keeping to a moderate, tax rate increase of 2% in order to restore reserves a little more than we have in the past. And those are my thoughts, but I thought the discussion here tonight was very good.
Counselor Thunder?
Sorry, Mr. Denti put his hands up about the sidewalks. I was just wondering what his question was.
I just wanted to add to Councillor Christie's talk about the 40,000. He's right. If the local contractor decides not to work in this town anymore, if he does something else, we're paying $90,000 per block per site for the sidewalks. So that's another thing to consider. How many years do we have it at that price?
The CEO has indicated his preference that you continue to do 5 blocks, but by what you yourself said about your success in 24 and 25, you're only doing 3 blocks a year anyway. Is that correct?
The budget in 2024 was 100,000. The price that the contractor gave us allowed us to get 3 blocks done in 2024. The price that the contractor gave us in 2025 allowed us to get 2 blocks done. Plus we had money for some fixes in the downtown.
So, in fact, the number of blocks you did was not limited by the time you had on your hands, but by the budget. Okay, so I'll ask the question then. Since this is done basically on your time, can 5 blocks be done in a single summer season and still get everything else done?
Yeah, because it will be a contractor doing it, not the public works group. So.
Okay, thank you. Any further comments? Any further comments from the CEO?
No.
Okay, I propose now that we're gonna go through this and on a very quick up down, we're gonna dump some of this or reinforce it, and then we'll have a single vote at the end to cover everything. Okay, I am assuming that all of the projects on the carry forward, we continue to fund. That's the water treatment plant, the raw water, the water stabilization, the audio visual, and the security cameras. Those are automatic goals.
With the water treatment plant increase.
With the increases that, the manager, Vern told us about. Yeah. Okay. My sense is that the new gas line is a go. My sense is the weir is a go. My sense is the water meter is certainly spread over 2, and if we can get price fixing, 3 years.
Yes.
So for sure, this budget will fund for now for 350, for 1 year. Office flooring is out. Roads overlay. In.
Yes, in.
Sidewalk replacement, in. Replacement wheel loader, depending on how much your demos entertain us, is in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just to let council know that there'll be sale of the old loader bucket and blade, so the money that will come out of that sale could go back into the restricted reserves for equipment replacement
for the future.
for the future.
Excellent.
And that's gonna be about 23,000. That'll be about 23,000. For the loader and the,
So we're having,
And what, and $100 for the snow blower?
well,
The lower,
Okay, the snow blower is in.
Yeah.
The fire department, what was in and what was out?
Wash Bay was in.
What's that?
Wash bay is in at half the price, or no, the wash bay is out.
Oh,
I thought he said he wanted the wash bay, he doesn't want.
but the pad, he doesn't want the pad.
Pad could go out.
Pardon?
That's
Pad
all
could go out.
That's the wash.
Okay, so the pad
Pad is out.
out, wash bay is in, and the walls are in.
Yes.
But that price for the wash bay would be it's gonna be a lot less.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Wash bay was cut in half.
You save us.
I don't know who's doing it then. 'Cause he was talking about patching those lines, cause you still gotta cut and do, and maybe not a relief cut, but you still gotta grind those
Yeah.
cuts down.
Yeah.
So you're doing the same thing. Right? And then you still gotta seal all those in and you still gotta recoat it.
Yeah, but
And it's an approved wash bay sealant. It's the same thing the CPO, the peace officers use. And their little pad cost them $5,000 to do.
Yeah.
So mine's going 100 feet.
I don't recommend normally that managers get into debates with the councillors, but go ahead, Councillor Watson.
no, the problem you've got there is you're talking about a relief cut. You can't go down too deep because you got heat lines.
Yeah.
And so heat lines is probably some of your problem with the cracks. That's why all you have to do is seal the cracks.
We will expect you to be very parsimonious on this project. In the streets, personally, I was hoping to do more, but my big problem with doing 3 or even 2 is I really think that the next big bill will be attached to the highway fix. And if that wasn't looming over us, I'd certainly go for at least 2, if not 3. But with that looming over us, I'm willing to settle for, what is it? The 44 stays in,
Yes.
Yes.
and Pine and Evergreen are out.
Yes.
The heat exchanger is in,
Yes.
the pumps are in,
Yes.
even though she blew up our numbers.
Yeah.
And is not being penalized for doing that. The concrete outside the aquatic center is out. The security cameras are in. The carpet replacement is out. The roof, that's that, dressing room is?
Yes.
Yeah, that's in. Concession is in at half the price. Enforcements are in. That's it.
And the airport.
In the airport.
Yeah, but that's a freebie.
I did.
Yeah.
And we'll give that to, just to get how much temples about.
Did you miss the walking trail?
Yeah, you missed the walking trail.
Walking trail's in, you missed the walking trail, it's in.
Walking
Did I miss that?
Yeah.
I didn't intend to. Must have, then I must have missed something else then.
No, I got it.
Okay.
One page.
It's in.
It's in, okay.
Any worries? I'm assuming somebody's kept track of all of this.
Shanda.
Any last minute before we vote? Councilman,
Your worship, I just have a problem on voting without knowing the exact numbers. You need the numbers to go into the motion, the pass the budget. How much the budget is, where the sources of revenues and that. I don't know if Shanda could be able to take this sheet now and take it back there and come up with a wording for a motion by the time we finish, but it has to. Because just don't say, as a vendor, that you need to have the actual numbers in the budget. Okay, sorry, your worship.
We go on to the other.
no, I think that's a reasonable request. We'll give, our finance director time to do the numbers.
Yeah. You might be doing now.
Sorry, when you had talked about the concession, you said half price, but it's.
It's 9,000. Yeah.
That's close enough to have.
Oh, just.
I think that you may even read. We knew what he did.
Having said all of that, while she does all of that work, we're going to go into camera. And that'll give her time to finish all the numbers. So I'm asking everybody who isn't a de facto member of council, we're going to leave.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for all the work you guys did. I know that there's always some disappointments, but We've done our best. This is the motion that'll be coming. Move that council go into closed session at 8:35 to discuss disclosure harmful